Less than 1% of copywriters make more than $100,000 a year. And the reason for it is simple. They don't control their marketing. I generated more than $170,000 in revenue last year, and I'm about to give you and walk you through the entire marketing playbook so that you can do it for yourself. The average copywriter that follows this playbook makes more than 120K within 12 months. So let's not waste any more time. Let's dive in right now. This episode is brought to you by CopyLaunch. CopyLaunch is the leading membership for copywriters that helps them get high-paying clients. It contains $500 million copywriting courses, marketing playbooks, business processes, more than $50,000 in savings on your favorite software and tools, personal development frameworks, mentorship from world-class copywriters, and more in the one place. Head to copylaunch.com and save big on access with their founders deal while it lasts. All right, so what does marketing as a copywriter actually entail and actually look like? It's a very, very good question, and it revolves around three very simple steps. We've covered these first two, the positioning and the market research, inside of other videos. I'll link them in the show notes. There's a complete walkthrough on positioning yourself as a copywriter and on conducting market research both for yourself and for your clients. So I'll link those in the show notes so we don't dive in here, but what we're going to focus on is that marketing playbook, as I said earlier. So the reason that we market, three main reasons. One is that positioning, having a spot in the mind of your ideal clients, where when they experience a specific problem or they think about achieving a specific goal, you are the first copywriter that comes to mind. That is positioning, having a category of one. Your marketing strengthens that position by creating a body of work. That's all that we're looking to do with our marketing, is how can we create a library of content and of positioning so extensive that it creates enough gravitational force to draw and attract these ideal clients to us, so that when they step into our ecosystem, they are blown away by all of the resources, all of the information that is around a specific thing. It's like it's just for them. So they step in and it's immediate authority, and they go, oh God, this copywriter knows what they're on about. Would you look at all of this? And it's all around this specific industry. It's all for me. All of these different problems, all of these different solutions. This makes a lot of sense. This copywriter knows what they're on about. It strengthens that position. And the more content that you create, the stronger the gravitational force to yourself and the bigger the body of work that you have. So that it's immediate when people step into it, they go, oh, they obviously know what they're on about, because look at all of this stuff that they've created. That's what we're looking to do with our marketing. So again, three core reasons: positioning, body of work, gravitational force. That's it. We're not looking to sell clients or sign clients with our content and with our marketing. That's the end goal, is to get them to a position where they're open to having that conversation. And we'll touch on that and walk through that entire process soon. But what I want you to think about is that my marketing, it's not sales. Sales are sales. Marketing is marketing. Marketing is about positioning. It's about creating the body of work, and it is about creating gravitational force for yourself. The ways that you do that is through your messaging and through your distribution channels. And we'll cover that shortly as well. So, three different options when it comes to marketing. You can take the social media and content approach, you can take the advertising approach, or you can take the networking approach. What we're looking to do here is how can we get your ideal clients to discover you? Okay, there are pros and cons for each of these three. So many people go towards the social media route and the content route because the barrier of entry is so low. You don't need capital. You don't essentially need anything except an internet connection. But that just means that there's more people playing that game. It means that it's a little bit more challenging to stand out because there's so much volume going into it. However, when you do it right, and you're not just speaking to everyone, when you've identified the position that you want to have, when you've identified who your ideal target is, when you've identified what their problems are, what their nightmares are, what their dreams are, what their goals are, then you can create content and create a message specific for them that helps you stand above. And then you find the right distribution channels, which is just going where your ideal clients already are. Where is their attention already? How can I show up there? That's the content game. It then becomes much longer term, and you've got to fight through the noise in order to get in front of people. However, with the right approaches and with the right perspective and with enough time, it eventually happens. Okay, personal little story here. I only really started heavily going into YouTube about 14 days ago. Inside of that 14 days, using this system, I've generated more than 5,500 views. Okay, there's a way for it to happen. All of those 5,500 views then get driven towards my owned distribution channel, which is like my email list. So I'm taking the attention that I'm capturing of people discovering me, and I'm moving them into something that I can control. So I can now communicate with them whenever I want, and they'll see it because it's via email. And those people who have joined the email have essentially put their hand up and said, hey, I'm considering working with you. I really like what it is that you have to offer. I would like more information. I want to be updated more and more. I want to consume more of this. So psychologically, they're not discovering anymore. They're now considering, which means they're one step closer to the action-taking phase. And we'll walk through all of this very soon. I just want to start to get you thinking this way. Okay, so that's the role of content. The other option, or the second option I should say, is advertising. The con for this is that you need capital in order to do it, and you need quite a bit of capital because advertising at the beginning is all about experimentation. We don't know what's going to work. However, the feedback loop is a lot shorter because we get the data. We can essentially spend $1,000 and get 300,000 people to see our stuff, and we could have that inside of a week. Playing the content game in order to get 300,000 people to see your content, well, it's going to take a lot longer than a week unless you just magically hit something that goes viral. The other thing with advertising, and it's a pro, is that we can control who sees it. When it comes to social media content, we don't control who sees it, but the targeting options with advertising allow us to create a more focused approach there. However, as I said, most copywriters don't have the capital to leverage for ads, and it takes a lot of capital to begin with. If you are running anything less than $10 a day when it comes to an ad set, I would highly recommend that you change your approach to a networking or a content, because the data that you get from that $10 a day, it's not going to be as valuable as it would be to wait and then to spend a little bit more so that you get the data that you need, you get the feedback that you need, and then you can start to really optimize and scale those ads. Okay? The third option is networking. Incredibly valuable. You can leverage so much of it. However, you need to have that network already created. So this is where, beginning as a copywriter, I recommend taking a networking approach and just start building relationships, start building connections with other people who already have the attention of your ideal clients so that you can leverage that community. The example here, when I first started, I started in the health and fitness industry. It was a huge passion of mine. When I was younger, I used to play baseball. I represented New South Wales for it, and I went to the States for a training camp with the Major League Baseball team. Back then they were the Florida Marlins, they're now the Miami Marlins. Sport and health and physical activity were a huge part of my life. I then transitioned after that into like the strength and conditioning and the CrossFit space. So I started writing copy for those things, and I started my own business, and I used copy to build that business, and we got to 6 figures within 6 months because of it. And I started to form relationships with other health and fitness coaches because I was like, I really want to write copy for this demographic. So I started to form relationships with different educators in the space, different people who were running podcasts, because whose attention did they have? They had the attention of health and fitness coaches and gym owners. And then I found my way into those communities. And then when I was in that community, I positioned myself as the copywriter. So here's all of these coaches online and face-to-face. Here's all of these gym owners. And they're all inside of these communities wanting to grow their business. They're listening to these podcasts and consuming this information because they want to grow their business. And here I am in there just adding value about, hey, with your marketing, you could do this. With your landing page, you could do this. With your content, you could say it this way instead. So I'm in there just giving this value, and strengthening my position as the copywriter inside of that community. And then guess what happens when they realize, hey, we really need to make a change here. This needs to be better. Nick, can you please help us? I would love to. And then the owners of those communities start to see what you're doing, so you form a stronger connection and relationship with them. And then you form a partnership with them where they go, hey, any new clients that I sign as part of my membership, I would love for you to support them with the copy. So we'll give you X to do that. How does that sound? That sounds fantastic. I don't now have to market. You're doing the marketing for me. I'm just going to sit inside of this community, provide value. And when you sign a new client, I get work from it. Awesome. That is how I built my business originally. It's why I didn't create content for the first 10 years of my career. Big mistake that I made because I had a different perspective back then and I didn't see content for what it really is, which is that positioning, that body of work and that gravitational force. I sit here and look back and go, man, if I created content for even just 5 of those years, think about the body of work that I would have. But I never shared that. I just held it to myself. Where now it's in the process of let's go and share all of this and let's go and help all of these people. Okay? So when it comes to marketing, you're going to look at these and you're going to choose 1, if not 2 of the approaches. Recommendation based off experience and where a lot of copywriters are. It's going to be networking and it's going to be social media content. Okay? So let's take the next step of looking at how you actually do go about marketing yourself. Okay? And there is a very simple diagram which explains this. So we're going to think of this in regards of like just a funnel. Okay, so we have our top of funnel, we have our middle of funnel, and we have our bottom of funnel. That's how everyone thinks about it. So top of funnel, as we can see over here on the right, this is the discovery phase. This is where people are discovering you. So all of this top of funnel content, which is social media, which is some ads and some networking, you are simply creating content that helps people discover you and discover who you are. Over here on the left, the stage of awareness. The people up here are going to be completely unaware of you, or they might be problem aware. They might know that they have a problem, but they don't yet know that a solution exists. They don't know about your product. They have no idea who you are. They just know I have a problem and I want it solved. So when we create content for the top of funnel, we want to focus around stories and we want to focus around different secrets, because that is what speaks to a person who is psychologically at that stage. Okay? Then we move them to middle of funnel. Middle of funnel is going to be your newsletter. It's going to be your YouTube channel. It's something that you own. So you want people from the discovery phase to take an action and put their hand up and say, hey, I'm interested in what you have to say and what you're doing. Sometimes this can be they'll follow you, they'll like your content, they'll subscribe to the channel. The challenge there is that you still don't technically own them, the platform does, but you can then use specific strategies in order to turn that piece of action, that step of action that they've taken, to move them across to your newsletter list or to a YouTube channel or something of a similar sense. Because when they do that, they're now in the consideration phase. They're considering working with you. They've shown intent. which means that they're now solution aware because they're aware of you, or they're potentially product aware and they're aware of what it is that you have to offer, what your service is as a copywriter. So here in this consideration phase, we want to hit them with the problems and turn them into solutions and show them how simple it is, or we want to hit them with some big banger, irresistible promises of this is what I can help you achieve and what I will help you achieve when you work with me. From there, they'll move to the bottom of funnel, which is when you monetize that audience. So these are for the people who are most aware, and you hit them with an offer, because this is when they're in the decision-making phase and they're going to take action. So up the top of funnel is all about content. There's rarely a piece of content that will create that hits the consideration phase, because the people who are up there aren't really considering working with us yet. And it's very, very rare that we will hit them with an offer directly, because again, the percentage of people who are following us on social that are in this most aware stage, it's not a very high number. When we think about this in percentages, it's like 90% top of funnel, and then 8% middle, and then 2% bottom when it comes to thinking about people who are consuming our content. Psychologically, 90% are in the discovery phase, 8% are considering, and only 2% are ready to buy. So yeah, we do want to promote an offer on social, but we just know that there's only 2% to 3% of the market who are going to actually take us up on that. The majority of them aren't even in the consideration phase yet. Okay? So that's the framework that we want to think about moving people through when it comes to our marketing. And the way that we begin this process and we leverage this process is twofold. We show up where they are. So again, that's that distribution. I want to create content top of funnel on the platforms that my ideal clients are already on and giving their time to. Because if I'm positioning myself and niching down into the SaaS industry, and I just listen to what people have to say, which is, well, you should market on Instagram and TikTok because they're taken off, and you go do that, but then you realize, well, hey, people who are building SaaS products aren't even on there. They're predominantly in Reddit and on X, and then consuming some content on YouTube. You're wasting all of your time because your distribution channels are off. They're not even going to see it. You're not showing up where your ideal clients are. So instead of looking at what's popping and what's trending, how can I show up where my ideal clients are, and then just show up on those other platforms as a secondary approach in case the attention does change there in the future. The second step is that step of leverage. As a copywriter, we don't have the capital at the beginning to spend on ads. We can't leverage money. So we have to leverage our time and we have to leverage our energy. And in order to do that, there's a very simple system when it comes to content creation that allows you to get more than 60 pieces of content from just 2 hours of work. Think of it like a waterfall. We create one long form piece of content, and then we use AI tools to chop it up and distribute it across all of those different platforms. And then we take those specific shorts or those smaller clips, and we put an article up about them, and we put a post up about them in all different formats, like a static image or a carousel or a reel. And we write articles and blogs for them, and we write emails about them. And now we've taken one idea and we have a multitude of different pieces of content about it. And we've only essentially had to create the one big thing once a week. Okay? The next thing that I want to walk you through and show you is this social media funnel OS. This is inside of CopyLaunch. Okay? So we have all of these different platforms and what their best use cases are. So depending on what you have specialized in, you can look at this and you can go, okay, my ideal client's on LinkedIn. Here are the best use cases for it. Here are the ideal markets. Here's the best sort of content to post on it. The same for Twitter and X, the same for Instagram, YouTube, Facebook Meta, and TikTok. Then how to go about growing them depending on the phase that you are in and what the best practices are for the phase. This is what I mean by a playbook. It's all here step by step to follow. Okay, so let's now actually go through how to do it yourself. So positioning is the first step. This is an example for SaaS. I've been through and I've done this. Here's the prompt to plug in to Claude or Grok or ChatGPT. Okay, what we've done is we used Gummy Search and we used SparkToro to give us some form of understanding already so that we can prompt ChatGPT or Grok or Claude, whatever AI tool you're using, we can give it a little bit more specifics. Okay, so I said first-class copywriter specializing in emails, because that's the copy asset that I'm specializing in. Help startup SaaS companies because that's my industry and my niche. I want to help them get product market fit, grow their revenue, and reach their first 100,000 users. Okay, act as a market research analyst and help me understand them better. Here's some of the information that I've found. They're predominantly male. This is their dominant age range. These are their goals and desires. This is all taken from Gummy Search that is specific to what these people have said their biggest pains and problems are inside of thousands of different posts in subreddits, and the same for their pains and problems. So this is coming straight from the horse's mouth. Okay, I'm going to ask you a series of questions. I then ask the 19 questions of taking stock, and it gives me everything that I need to focus on and that I need to think about. So I can now use this to create different content pillars. What am I going to talk about? What's my content going to revolve around? What different assets am I going to create? What are the big themes? What's my messaging going to be? It's all here for me to now go through and pick out the golden nuggets and the threads of what I am going to focus on. So this is where the content creation piece comes in. This here is the market research. Okay, we can take low email open rates and we can create hundreds of different pieces of content about it. The same for click-through rates. And all of this is going to strengthen my position as the expert, as the authority, as the go-to copywriter, specific for SaaS startups who want to get their first 100,000 users. Because that's what I do. That is my promise to SaaS companies. You work with me, you consume my content, this is what I'm going to help you do. And the way that I do it is by optimizing your emails so that you get to those users. Okay? So you go through and you just pick apart all of these different things. I'm going to expand on this. Okay? Yeah, an important perspective to take in is their users and their customers who receive the emails. And they want value. So are your emails actually valuable? Here's 3 steps to make sure that you're delivering the most value to people in order to convert them across to a paying client of your SaaS product. Okay, is the content relevant? Does it help them improve? Does it help solve their problems? Okay, they want frequent updates and promos. So are you delivering those inside of your emails? Okay, they fear annoying them with too many emails. So here's the perfect number of emails to send. When to send them, how many to send a week, what to send, how often to send value, how often to send offers and promotions. Okay, how to keep engagement high, how to keep conversions high, how to minimize unsubscribe rates or spam complaints. All of these are different pieces of content. Okay, all of these fears and frustrations, all of these wants and desires. Here are the specific results that they want. Okay, negative is that my email rate, that my open rates have dropped to 5%. Here's what you can do to get them back up to 20% plus. So you can see how from this, we can start to really create that body of work and that gravitational force that strengthens our position and attracts our ideal clients in this scenario, SaaS startups that want to get their first 100,000 users. All of that content that we're creating, all of this marketing that we're doing, this messaging, this distribution, this positioning, it's attracting our ideal client to us. Okay? And what do we do when we've got their attention at the top of funnel and they're in the discovery phase, and then we want to transition them into the consideration phase, something that we own? We give them a simple call to action. And it's not to work with this, it's just a personalized call to action about, hey, if you want to learn how to apply this for yourself, then you should do this thing. And typically, the best thing for a copywriter is join my newsletter. I share more in-depth information about how you can apply this for yourself multiple times a week or once a week. And all that needs to be is a very simple page. One fold. This is what I am currently using, and it is converting at 30%. That means that for every 3 people who land on this, 1 person opts in. They've put their hand up and they've said, hey, I really like what you have to offer. I want to receive more. I'm considering. I'm in the consideration phase. I'm closer to taking action. So now what I can do is that we've essentially segmented those people, and in those emails, I can now market to them specifically for the stage that they're in and hit them with more promises, hit them with more solutions, and hit them with some offers to get the people who are ready to take action to actually take action. As I said, this is one fold. I can't even scroll up or scroll down here. It's very, very clear. There's one call to action. This is the only newsletter that you need to build a copywriting business. I then let them know how many times I'm going to reach out to them every Tuesday and Saturday. You're going to get this. Okay? There's more than 1,000 people already on it. Social proof and authority. And they're learning to do this and also get access to this. Okay? It's a 2-minute read. It currently has a 0.4 unsubscribe rate, and it's very easy to implement. You can try it out and it's free. Okay? Here's an example of what one of the emails looks like, so that there's a visual representation for them of going, oh, I know what to expect. This is what you create for yourself. Okay? It could be, just using this structure because it's the structure that I found to work best as a headline. The only newsletter you need to get your first 100,000 SaaS users. Okay? The only newsletter you need to scale or grow your SaaS product. Okay? We're giving them a promise here. And then we have 2 short paragraphs or sentences on what's in it for them. And then we give them 1 call to action. There's nothing else for them to do here. They can't click to read an article or that. There's 2 options. You opt in or you close the page. Okay? The principle behind this is that a confused mind says no every time. There's no confusion here. If I gave them more options and different call to actions or different buttons to click, people would lose attention on what I want them to focus on. They would be distracted. There's no distractions here. Okay? In the last 7 days of using this flywheel, this playbook, I've had an extra 238 people join the email list. As I said, I haven't been doing this for very long. It's currently already got 309 people on it. That's 309 of my ideal clients who have said, hey, I'm really interested in what you have to offer. Can you please send me more information about it? This is the power of marketing. This is what we're aiming to do as copywriters. Create content at the top of funnel that is specific about stories and about secrets and about problems that they have, so that they can discover who we are. Make it so good and so irresistible that they want more. It's that valuable to them. So in it, we drive them to our newsletter. They sign up for it. And now we can email market to them with more promises, with more solutions, and with more offers. in order to move them into a position where they can then say to us, hey, I would really like to work with you as a copywriter. Okay? It's very, very, very simple. So again, position yourself, conduct your market research, create your social content. One long form piece. Chop it up. Use Opus Clip. Use Swell AI. From that one piece of content, you can get more than 60 different pieces of content to share. You can create short articles and blog posts about them. You're simply taking the one short video and turning it into a different format. Is it a static image post? Is it a carousel? Is it an article? Is it a blog? Like, the AI tools can actually do that for you, so you don't even have to write it. You just input the short or input the video, and then it will expand it out for you, and it's done. And then you can just go in and layer your human creativity over the top to change a few things. Okay? And then from there, you're driving that traffic, as we said, to consideration phase, which is your newsletter. Very simple marketing, guys. And this is the playbook. How you do it on X, and how you do it on LinkedIn, and how you do it on Twitter, and how you do it on Instagram, and how you do it on Facebook, and how you do it on TikTok. That's where the changes come in, because the platforms are different. And that's where this marketing OS part of CopyLaunch becomes hyper valuable. Okay? So quick little walkthrough. If you are focusing on LinkedIn, here's the best content for you to post. If you are on X or Twitter, here's the best content for you to post. Just pause, have a read, and then go and do it yourself. If your ideal clients are on Instagram, here's the best sort of content for you to post. If your ideal clients are on YouTube, here's the best sort of content for you to post. And if they're on Facebook or TikTok, here's the best content for Facebook, and here's the best content for TikTok. Okay? So one last time to walk you through this. Position yourself. Okay? Identify the type of copy asset that you want to specialize in. In this example, it was emails. You might pick advertisement, you might pick VSLs, you might pick social content, you might pick landing pages, sales pages, full funnels, entire launches. Okay, pick your copy asset, pick your industry. Here it was SaaS. You might pick health and fitness, you might pick e-com, you might pick education, you might pick brick and mortar surf shops, you might pick hairdressers. Then you identify the sub part of that. Here for this example, it was startups. Okay, and then a further sub niche was those startups that want to get their first 100,000 users. That's my positioning. That's who I'm speaking to. Second step is conducting your market research. To do that, use Gummy Search. To do that, use SparkToro. To do that, you conduct taking stock and use AI. And you get inside of different subreddits and you have a look at what your ideal clients are posting about, the questions that they're asking, and the language that they're using. Then you start to create your content. It's all here for the discovery phase. Different stories, different secrets to speak to the people who are unaware and who are problem aware. Do you ever experience this problem? Okay, we're creating a ton of content there on the distribution channels, the different platforms that our ideal clients are already on. That's it. We create the one piece of content, we use AI to leverage it and turn that one piece into 60 different pieces, and then we put it up. We analyze the data, see if there's anything that took off. Oh, okay, this theme's really popped, so I'm going to create more to do with that theme. And we're giving people the call to action of the personalization, if you want to apply this for yourself, then go here. That's the newsletter. That's moving them and shifting them in the market to the consideration phase, where I can now email them with problems, with promises that moves them further and closer to actually taking action. And to get them to take action, I hit them with the offer. And I do that in my emails. Very, very simple, very systematized, very straightforward. Okay, if you have any questions about this, please comment below. Or if you would like a more personalized approach, send me an email, heycopyos@gmail.com, and I will support you and answer those questions so that you can implement this for yourself inside of your specific business. That's what all of this is about. That is my mission and my vision with CopyLaunch. Create the greatest membership and mentorship of the 21st century for copywriters. That means one-on-one support, because it's not a cookie cutter approach. Everyone is a unique individual. All of the different copywriters out there are experiencing something different. So how can we take this big 30,000 foot principle and apply it specific for them? That's what's missing, and that is the gap that CopyLaunch and myself are filling and solving. So thank you very much for joining us on this video. Please, if you found value from it, like, subscribe to the channel, share it with your copywriting friends. And as I said, if you have any questions, then please comment below or send me an email and I will support you. I appreciate you. I'm grateful for you for being here with us and for being here with me. We'll see you on the next episode.